Welcome, everybody, to the TwillysTakes podcast. Now, I'm sure you guys are wondering, Twilly, why are you making a podcast? Your tweets aren't that funny. You're literally the stupidest person I've ever seen. Your takes are tremendously terrible. What makes you so special? Why should I listen to you podcast? I'm glad you asked that. So, anyways, today we're going to be going over the full 2024 season prediction. I'm talking the division winners, playoff predictions, Super Bowl predictions, all the Associated Press award predictions. I'm talking everything. And I got the numbers to back up everything because I am a friggin' genius, okay? So, just to let you know, a lot of this stuff, obviously, these rankings, these predictions, it's subjective, but I also try to be as objective as possible. Earlier this month, I made an entire algorithm, just in Visual Studio using Python. I made a big program that basically takes all my rankings. This is the subjective part. I ranked every single offensive skill position and defensive position. And this algorithm basically computes everything together to make one big giant ranking. Now, it's based off of personnel. It's not based off of how I think these teams are going to perform. It's not based on how they are coached, yada, yada, yada. It's strictly just based off of these are the players that they have in these positions. And basically, it's just a personnel ranking. It's not a full team ranking. Like, for example, this is where a lot of you guys are going to stop listening. I have the Chiefs as the third best roster. The third best roster, personnel. Not the third best team, but just the third best roster on paper. Now, obviously, football's not played on paper. It's played on shitty turf. But anyways, the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL. I mean, they just won back-to-back Super Bowls. But in my opinion, they are the third best roster. Mahomes obviously carries that team. I shouldn't say that. But anyways, I have these rankings in front of me. I have the division winners and the schedule in front of me. But other than that, I am completely freeballing this. I'm going commando. Commando in chief. Let's start with the AFC West. In the AFC West, that was a crazy segue. In the AFC West, I got the Broncos. I got the Broncos going 4-13. Pulling up their schedule right now. They're 4 wins. Let's see. I got them beating the Chargers at home, obviously. That's a given. I actually have them going on a 3-game win streak midway through the season. That's 75% of their wins. I got them beating the Chargers. I got them revenge game beating the Sean Payton. What am I talking about? Revenge game. I got Sean Payton beating the Saints. And then I got them beating the Panthers. 3-game win streak. Week 6, 7, and 8. And then I also have them beating the Browns when the Browns are coming off a mini bye. Who cares? Anyways. I'm not very high on the Broncos. In my algorithm, I have the Broncos as the 29th best offense. I still like Courtland Sutton. I think Courtland Sutton is a fucking dog. Is he even on the team? God damn. Yeah, thank God. I still think Courtland Sutton's a dog. I know they got rid of Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy is on the Browns now. Javonte Williams has hurt me so many times in fantasy. I keep on thinking, oh, this is going to be the steal of the draft. No one's going to ever know Javonte Williams is coming. They still don't know because he won't come. I got a two-hand this guy. Wait, ignore that. Yeah, Broncos, I think that they are just not there yet. I don't think Bo Nix is a bad quarterback. I don't watch a ton of college, so I can't really say for certain that, he's going to light it up in the league or he's going to fucking fail. I can't say that. But I just also think that their offense has a lot of holes. I'm looking at their offensive line. They, in my opinion, they have the 29th best. No, I'm sorry. Where are they at? So I got to look over this. I have them as the 18th best offensive line, so that's definitely one of the strong points of their team. But the running back room is pretty weak. Their wide receiver room is fairly weak. And their quarterback, I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't think Bo Nix is going to be like rookie of the year. So anyways, yeah, I got the Broncos coming in last place. That's a given. Third place, I actually have the Chargers. I have the Chargers going 8-9. they're also a roster that I don't think is very good. Justin Herbert's a stud, but he's also battling through injuries and stuff. But I mean, gosh, the running back room is. I have them as the 28th best running back room, 31st ranked wide receiver room. But I think Herbert is a top 5 quarterback still. Offensive line, I think they've done a tremendous job with Jim Harbaugh coming in there and just revamping everything. Start from the trenches, build from the trenches, spread out. Um, Offensively, I think they do have still a good offense as long as Jim Harbaugh and Justin Herbert are there. They're going to have a good offense. Defensively, though, man, aside from having Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, man, I'm not very high on the Chargers defense. So I actually don't think they have a great roster, but I think Jim Harbaugh as their head coach is going to be a big part of why they win 8 games this year. I have them going 8-9, which leads me to the second place team also going 8-9, but having tiebreakers over them, obviously. The Raiders. I think the Raiders. Yeah, see, the Raiders, without Josh Jacobs, I'm very, very curious how that offense is going to perform. I still love their wide receiver group, and when I say wide receiver group, that also includes tight ends. I really do think that the Raiders have a fairly I don't mean mid in a bad way. I mean completely mid. They are middle of the pack. They're not bad. They're not good. It's just a very mid pass catching group. Also factor in that Gardner Minshew is a starter, which I love Gardner Minshew. He's one of my favorite players in the league. I love Gardner Minshew. But let's be real, Gardner Minshew is no Mahomes. He's no Justin Herbert. So yeah, I think the Raiders, defensively, the defense is definitely going to be their strong point. I actually have them as the 10th best. Well, not 10th best. I have them as a top 10 defensive unit in terms of personnel. But yeah, I think the Raiders finish 8-9, miss the playoffs obviously, but they come in second place in the division. that's actually a really tough one for me to say because I think the Chargers can come in second place. They can win one more game. I don't know, but let's be real. This division, it doesn't matter. It's the Chiefs division. The Chiefs really are the best team in football. Obviously, that's not breaking news. But yeah, I have the Chiefs going. Where are they going? 13-4. Their 4 losses coming from the Bengals and the Bills and the Niners. Bengals, Bills, Niners, and Browns. I think the Browns sneak one out, but I don't think there's any shame in losing to the Bengals, losing to the Bills, losing to the Niners. 13-4. I think they do have the 1 seed in the AFC. But yeah, that's how I think the AFC West is going to shake out. Last place Broncos, third place Raiders, second place Chargers, first place Chiefs. Now let's go to what I think is the second best division of football, the NFC West. I think a dark horse team. They come in last place in the division, but I'm really excited to see this offense in action. It's the Cardinals. I think they go 6-11. Getting Marvin Harrison Jr., man, that is going to be a fun connection. Assuming health for Kyler Murray. God damn, dude. Do you guys remember back in 21, 22 how he was playing? He's just so fun to watch. He's so fun to watch when he's healthy. And I think having a receiver like Marvin Harrison, who I don't think he's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year, but man, he's going to come close. That's going to be a fun team. Third place, Seahawks, 7-10. I just think they're a very mid team. Now, again, mid doesn't mean bad, but seriously, I have the entire offense and defensive personnel rankings. I combine them into a total team ranking. I have the Seahawks as literally the 17th team. That is as mid as you can be. I don't think they're bad. I don't think they're good. I think they're just mid. Offensively, I still like their team. With JSN, Tyler Lockett's still there, DK Metcalf. I think that's a fun offense. Geno Smith, if he can be 2022 Geno Smith, we'll be cooking there. But let's be real. He's Geno Smith. I think we know what he is at this point. Not a bust anymore. I think that's great. He's not busty, but I don't think he's that great. But yeah, defensively, I still think they have a great defense. They're just not great offensively. Personnel-wise, I think that, I don't know, I think it's going to be ride or die with Geno Smith. They either die by the sword or What's the phrase? Live by the sword, die by the sword. Yeah. I just think the Seahawks are pretty mid this year. And then second place, obviously, the Rams. Now, the Rams, I think they could push for the division. I also just think that the Rams have a pretty bad defense. Losing Aaron Donald hurts so much. He is potentially the best defensive player in NFL history. So I just don't know how the Rams defense is going to truly recover from losing Aaron Donald. Besides that, I mean, let's see. I have them as the 18th best defensive line. I have them as the 25th linebacker core, and I have them as the 26th just secondary. I don't think they have a very good defense, but their offense, man, their offense is going to be so fun. Their offense is going to be so fun. They got Puka and Koopa. That's going to be a fun offense. And their offense is going to carry them to relevance for sure. You know, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think that their team is good enough to take out the Niners. Now the Niners, I have them going 13-4 as well. And let's see, the Niners, I have them splitting with the Seahawks. I have them losing to the Bills. Let's see, who else do I have them losing to? They have 4 losses. Seahawks, Bills. Seahawks are going to be, I think the Cardinals can sneak one out for some reason, but yeah, the fourth loss, I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I have them going 13-4. They are without a doubt just like the class of the NFC. I think the Lions do have a better offense just in terms of production and stuff, and I think Jared Goff is better than Brock Purdy. I don't know. The Niners are so fucking good. They are so good. It pisses me off. I hate the Niners more than any other team in the entire freaking NFL. I hate the Niners, but let's be real, man. They're fucking incredible. So yeah, that's how I have the NFC West shaking out. Cardinals, Seahawks, Rams, and Niners. Again, I think the Rams can make a push for that division, but it's the Niners. Niners are going to win that division pretty handily. 13-4, Rams 11-6. So yeah. Switching coasts, going to the AFC East. Dead last place. Let's see. I have this team potentially fighting for the number 1 seed in the draft. Well, at least a top 5 pick in the draft. The Patriots. I have the Patriots going 3-14. I don't like anything about the Patriots. I have them genuinely as the worst offense in the NFL. Again, this is in terms of personnel. I think they are so terrible. Like they yeah, man. I can't say enough about how bad the Patriots are. They do have a good well, good's a strong word. Mid defense. I think they have a lot of good defensive players. Losing Judon sucks. But other than that, like, I don't know. I have them as like a bottom 5 team in the NFL. Going 3-14. I can't say anymore about just how bad the Patriots are going to be, which kind of sucks for Mayo. His first year as the head coach. It's not going to be a pretty one. We'll see how Drake May does. I'm not overly high on him, which, to be fair, like I said, I don't watch college, so I don't know how to rank these quarterbacks. But yeah, Patriots dead last in the AFC East. Dolphins going 10-7. I have them coming in third place. I think we've pretty much seen the Dolphins' ceiling. Now, the ceiling is high. The ceiling can be very high, but I don't know. I think they're fairly limited with Tua at quarterback. I don't think Tua's bad, but I also don't understand this. Oh, Tua's the most accurate quarterback in the NFL. What the hell does that mean? Best completion percentage? Because, no. I don't know. Tyreek Hill's biggest strength is just those deep balls, man. And Tua underthrows him so severely, just from my opinion. Biased half Chargers fan. I don't think Tua is that great. He's a good quarterback. But I don't think he's that great. Breaking down the Dolphins a little bit more, though. 7th best running back room, in my opinion. I think HN is just incredible. Wide receiver core? This is crazy. I have them as the best receiving core. I think the Dolphins really do have that best receiving core, and that includes tight ends. That's just pass catching group. They're insane. The 1-2 punch of Tyreek Hill and I don't know why Jalen Waddle. I don't know why I was blanking on his name. He's literally my keeper in fantasy. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, like, that's a really good 1-2 punch right there. The problem lies in the fact that I think Tua, ranking all the quarterbacks, I think Tua is the 15th best quarterback in the NFL. I don't think Tua is that great. I think he is very limited, just in terms of talent and stuff. And then offensive line, I'm not very high on their offensive line at all, which also hurts their offensive capabilities a little bit. I do think that they still have a borderline top 10 offense. I have them sitting right outside that at like the 11th best offense in the league in terms of personnel. Their defense is kind of what holds them back a little bit, though. It's not a bad defense. It's just fairly mid defense. Have them going 10-7. And oh man, if you can see my screen right now, I'm talking just narrowly missing playoffs in my prediction. I have them as the 8th seed going 10-7. Just barely missing out on that 7th seed. But that's a very tough division. A tough division which has been won by the Bills so many times. And here's what's crazy about that. I have the Bills coming in 2nd place at 11-6. The Bills, man, losing Gabe Davis and Stephon Diggs. I have my opinions on Stephon Diggs. I think he's a phenomenal talent, but towards the end of the season, he always just has some sort of meltdown, man. I don't know what you can really say about the Bills' offense outside of Josh Allen, man. Josh Allen is just incredible. He is, I don't know. What else can I say about Josh Allen that hasn't been said? He is a fucking demigod on the field. He is incredible. Now, Mahomes is obviously the best quarterback in the league. It's fucking Patrick Mahomes. But Josh Allen, man. Josh Allen is so special. I have him as like the 2. Like Mahomes, Josh Allen, 3rd best quarterback in the league. You know what I'm saying? Which I have as Lamar Jackson. Well, Lamar Jackson's incredible too. But anyways, Josh Allen is incredible. He's the reason that team is going to be relevant. It's going to be just like how Aaron Rodgers was in like the early 2010s when like I shouldn't even say that. Aaron Rodgers was way better. He had way better help around him. But Josh Allen, man, he's going to be carrying that team. He's going to be carrying that team. Yeah, defensively though, I do think the Bills have a top 5 defense. Their defense is going to be really, really fucking good. I just think their offensive personnel outside of Josh Allen isn't that great. Offensive line, it's a pretty meh offensive line, but it doesn't matter when you have Josh Allen at quarterback. My biggest sleeper this year is Khalil Shakir. I'm telling all my friends to draft Khalil Shakir. It's a tongue twister name. I can't really like say anything besides just like vibes, but I don't think Curtis Samuel is the number 1 receiver. He's listed as their number 1 receiver. Yeah, right now. Actually, no, Curtis Samuel's not. Yeah, Khalil Shakir on their depth chart is listed as the number 1 receiver, but he is being drafted in like the 11th round. I'm telling all my friends, 10th round. If Shakir is there, get him. I got such a high feeling on Khalil Shakir. He's not going to be the best receiver in the league. Hell no, that's Romeo Doubs. But Khalil Shakir, man, if he's available in like your 10th, 11th round, get him. Get him. But yeah, Bills, man. Bills are going to be a really good team. They're going to be a very, very good team. But not good enough to come in first place, because in first place, I got the Jets. The Jets won, what, 8 games last year? Yeah, what was the Jets' record last year? Probably, I shouldn't have freeballed this. I apologize. Jets 2023 record, they went 7-10. They went 7-10, and that was with Zach Wilson. They had one of the best defenses in the league. They still have some of the best offensive support, and they bolstered that offensive line, man. Like, Aaron Rodgers just has to play like his 2018 self. And I'm talking 2018 with a torn meniscus. 2022 self with a broken thumb. If he can play that way, that's bad. If he can play just bad, the Jets are going to be good. But I don't think he's going to play bad. I think it's still Aaron Rodgers. It's not MVP Aaron Rodgers anymore, but it's still Aaron Rodgers, dude. He just has to play mid, and the Jets can win that division. But I have the Jets going 13-4, just assuming Aaron Rodgers can be good. Not otherworldly MVP 2020 Aaron Rodgers. He just has to be a good quarterback. And that's what I think he's going to do. Play from the system, play from in the pocket. He's old. He doesn't have to run outside the pocket anymore. He can just play from within the system. And I don't know. The fact that they won 7 games with that quarterback room last year kind of goes to show if they have Aaron Rodgers for the entire season, Jets are going to be phenomenal. Great defense. Last year, I stupidly had Quinnen Williams winning Defensive Player of the Year. That didn't work. It was kind of a vibes pick. But yeah, man, that defense is just so fucking good. Now, to the NFC East. Giants, I'll just blow through this real quick. I got the Giants going 4-13. I really like what they did this offseason, especially getting Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors is like the big name in that offense in terms of just key additions. Malik Neighbors is going to be awesome. Dude, Daniel Jones is just so bad. He's so bad. We know who Josh Allen or Daniel Jones is at this point. The reason I brought up Josh Allen is because like he's like, it's like Chanel and Walmart. Chanel is Josh Allen. Walmart is Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has, oh man, I'm going to get heat for this take. Daniel Jones has talent. He has talent. He doesn't have the strongest arm. He's not the best passer. I mean, like, his running ability is something defenses actually have to, like, watch out for because he can run. White lightning, you know? But, man, Daniel Jones is just so bad. He's so bad. Commanders also going 4-13, but I think they just have a leg up. I think they can split with the Giants and just, I don't know. I don't know what the tiebreaker is exactly, but Commanders are an interesting team just because of Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is going to be fun to watch. I really hope that he can win Offensive Rookie of the Year because he's fun to watch. He's like a mini Lamar, dude. I love it. That's not a crazy take, but I do like what the Commanders have in terms of just like offensive skill positions. Let's see, Commanders, I have them as the 16th best running back room, so completely mid running back room. I have them slightly lower at wide receiver room. I still think Terry McLaurin is that guy. I love Terry McLaurin. I think he's definitely going to be a sleeper this year in fantasy. I don't know where exactly he's being taken in drafts. I don't know the ADP exactly, but like if you have a chance to get Terry McLaurin, get him. He's going to be good. But yeah, Jaden Daniels, man. I think he is going to be a talented quarterback, but he does play for Washington. You gotta tread lightly with quarterbacks like that on that field. Playing at FedEx Field, nervous for him. I'm very nervous for him. You know, but then defensively, I don't think they have a good defense. I'll just say that right now. I have them ranking pretty low in everything. I think their best group is definitely like their linebacker edge rush group, but like other than that, no, Commanders kind of suck. Cowboys, though, third place, 10-7. I have the Cowboys making the playoffs, not winning their division, obviously, because, you know, NFC East for some reason. When was the last time? I'm trying to remember. I don't know the exact stat, but when was the last time that an NFC East team has gone back-to-back winning that division? It just doesn't happen for some reason. It's so funny. But I also think they regress pretty heavily from where they were last year. Now, obviously, Amari Cooper, he's on the Browns now. They went and got a great running back, a really great running back pickup, Zeke. Come on, man. You see that? That was kind of funny. First time using the fart sound effect. I was itching to use it, but I'm just like, oh, Ezekiel Elliott. That sucks. I'm not saying Tony Pollard is like a fucking top 5 running back, but come on, dude. Tony Pollard at this point in his career is a lot better than Zeke. You know, Zeke as your number 1 running back, that's as all in as you can be. I'm so stoked for them, man. Zeke is going to be fucking incredible. But no, I mean, last year, I think Dak made an argument to win MVP. I think he probably could have and should have won MVP. But yeah, I don't know. Cowboys are going to regress this year. Last year was a really good season for them, but this year it's going to regress. They still make the playoffs, but they're just not that great of a team. Yeah, Cowboys finishing 10-7, which means the Eagles win that division. Also at 13-4, just like the Niners. Eagles, man, like, gosh, getting Saquon is just such a fucking nice get. I do worry about him in fantasy just because, you get down to that 1 yard line, Jalen Hurts is going to snake the ball. He's going to snake those touchdowns. But dude, that Saquon is instantly the best running back that they've had in the last 5 years. In the Jalen Hurts era, that offense is crazy. The offensive line, I mean, I think they have the second best offensive line behind the Lions. Eagles have the second best offensive line. Even without Jason Kelce, man, they still have such a fucking good offensive line. Running back room, again, having Saquon there, amazing. Pass catching group, top 5 as well. I have them as the 4th best. That is a recipe for just having a great offense. I do like Jalen Hurts. I love Jalen Hurts. Great guy. Awesome guy. I love Jalen Hurts. I do think he's kind of not a great passer. Good passer. Not a great passer. His running threat is something you have to respect. I'm not saying he's a tush-push merchant, but I don't know. I don't think Jalen Hurts is one of those top of the top, cream of the crop running quarterbacks. He's a good quarterback, though, which means that offense is going to be one of the best offenses in the league, which, yeah, I have them as the second best offense in the league. Personnel-wise. Remember, this is personnel-wise. This is not how I think they're going to perform. I'm not saying that they're going to be the second best offense, points per game, yards per game. No. Personnel-wise, they have one of the best rosters on paper. Defensively is where they kind of struggle a little bit. Lost some key players. Have them as a low-end defense. I'm talking 20th ranked defense. Not great. Not very great. But yeah, that's how I think the NFC East shakes up. Giants coming in last place. Commanders, sneaky 3rd place team. 4-13 though. But then 2nd place Cowboys, Eagles 1st place. Yeah. And now to the division that I think is truly the best division. In terms of my projected wins, this is the best division in football, the AFC North. The AFC North in last place, narrowly, I can't believe I'm saying this, but narrowly missing the playoffs. They're behind the Dolphins. I remember I said the Dolphins are the 8 seed. This team is the 9 seed. The Steelers. Damn, dude, the Steelers. I'm really curious how the season is going to go at quarterback for them. They announced Russell Wilson as the starter, which I think is a good idea. I think it's a really good idea. He sucked in Denver. Let's just be real. He sucked in Denver. He's not who he used to be. Last time we saw a good Russ was before he broke his finger or his thumb, whatever it was, in 2021. He hasn't been the same player ever since. Kind of sad to see. He's been kind of playing himself out of Hall of Fame consideration. Man, do you guys remember in 2020 when he started off, he started so hot in 2020. And then Aaron Rodgers lit the league on fire, won MVP. But yeah, man, Russell Wilson, man, he was so good. I feel really bad. But the Steelers starting Russell Wilson, I think that kind of limits their offense. Now, I think that they have a pretty good running back room. I like Jalen Warren. I like Najee Harris. But yeah, what it really gets the Steelers is outside of George Pickens. Who do they have catching the ball? Hold on a minute. I have them ranked very, very low in the pass catching department. I know they have their tight ends. There's Pat Freiermuth and who else? They drafted somebody last year. Darnell Washington. Sorry, I blanked out for a second. But other than not, George Pickens, I don't know. I think a sneaky fun player to watch on this offense is the addition of Cordero Patterson. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. And I'm really curious to see how they utilize Justin Fields this year. Justin Fields, I think he brings a lot more upside to the Steelers offense, more than Russell Wilson would. That's for sure. But Justin Fields also has a ceiling. I think the ceiling is a lot higher with Justin Fields than Russell Wilson, but I think the floor is a lot higher with Russell Wilson than Justin Fields. I think by like week 6, Justin Fields is probably going to be named the starter because let's see. The Steelers, I have them starting 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, you know what? I have them starting 4-2 through the first 6 weeks. 4-2. That's not that terrible. But yeah, they hit a rough stretch where they play all their division rivals. Week 11, the Ravens. Week 12, the Browns. Week 13, the Bengals. I have them going 0-3 in that stretch. But yeah, I mean, 10-7. That's not bad. That's not bad. Mike Tomlin is always going to be 500 or higher. He's never going to have like a losing season. Maybe this is the year. Maybe I just jinxed him. But 10-7 for the Steelers. I'm sorry I'm talking so long about the Steelers. I don't even like the Steelers that much. But anyways, have them going 10-7. In third place, I got the Browns going 11-6. This team needs to start Jameis Winston. I'll say that right now. That they have a quarterback room that is an all-time woman-respecting quarterback room. That's a joke. I'm sorry I even made that joke. Deshaun Watson is a piece of shit. Off the field stuff aside, which off the field stuff, how is he still playing? How is he still in the league? On field, how is he still a starter, bro? How is he still in the league? Past couple years, man, what happened? He's just not good anymore. Deshaun Watson is just not good anymore. I really, really like the players that they have on that team. I mean, assuming health, which it's a big if Nick Chubb can come back healthy. That's a big, big if. All right. I don't know if that offense is going to be chubbed up. But if Nick Chubb can even be a shell of himself, I think they have a good running back room. The strength of this team definitely comes from the offensive line. I have them as like the 4th best offensive line, which is going to be great for whoever is at running back, whether it's Nick Chubb or not. That's a sick nickname. Hold on. I accidentally said that. I said whether it's Nick Chubb or not. If you get Nick Chubb this year, name your team Chubbernaut. The Chubbernaut. It's a play on the word juggernaut, but it's Chubbernaut. God damn, I need to shoot myself in the head. Anyways, wide receiving core, and it also coincides with tight ends. Again, it's a pass catching group. Pretty mid. Have them as like the 17th best pass catching group. I really like the addition of Amari Cooper on the Browns. That's an interesting signing. I like it. But dude, this team needs to start Jameis. Jameis would give this team a lot more life than Deshaun Watson would. I have Deshaun Watson ranked so low in my quarterback rankings, man. It used to be so fun to watch. And then obviously taking the 2021 season off and stuff, and then all those allegations. He's never the same player. I think because of that contract, they're not going to start Jameis Winston, but man, they got to start Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston would be so fun to watch on that offense. They need to start him. Defensively, though, man, they are one of the best defenses in the league without a doubt. I have them ranked actually as the 3rd best defense. Jets the best, Niners the 2nd best, Browns the 3rd best. Browns are going to be a phenomenal defense, man. They are so good on defense. Not good enough, though, because I have them coming in 3rd place for the AFC North. 2nd place, a bit surprising, honestly. Again, this is factoring in full health. I have the Bengals. I have the Bengals coming in 2nd place, coming 12-5. 12-5 for the Bengals. I have them actually getting swept by the Browns. I have them splitting with the Steelers. I have them splitting with the Ravens. But they get swept by the Browns. It's actually kind of a crazy stat. Pulling this up real quick. Browns-Bengals history. Real quick, what do you think in the Joe Burrow era, what do you think their record is against the Browns? What do you think? Now again, Joe Burrow has missed some games. But are you ready for this? since 2020 when Joe Burrow was drafted, all right, obviously he missed most of that 2020 season. He's missed a lot of time. He's missed a lot of game against the Browns. But, dude, the Browns own the Bengals. The Browns have won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The Browns are 6-2 against the Bengals in the Joe Burrow era. 6-2. For some reason, the Bengals just can't beat the Browns, and I got the Browns sweeping the Bengals this year. Besides that, though, I still think the Bengals are the better team than the Browns, and they finished second place in the AFC North, make the playoffs pretty easily. That's the 5 seed. To be fair, Browns and Bengals both make the playoffs. I have the Browns as the 7 seed, beating out the Dolphins. But yeah, man, the Bengals. The Bengals are an interesting one for sure. It's kind of funny. I have the Bengals as the 13th best offense. Obviously, they lost Tyler Boyd and they lost Joe Mixon. Now, I'm not saying those are world-breaking players, but they're good players for the Bengals. They always have been. But they lose them. Offense takes a step back in that area, I think, a little bit. But yeah, man, Bengals have the 13th best offense and the 11th best defense, which, with that composite score that my algorithm made, puts them as the 9th best team in the NFL. I have them as the 9th best team in the NFL, as the 5 seed in the AFC, which then leads to the winner of the AFC North, which obviously is the Ravens, also coming in at 12-5. 12-5 Ravens. Ravens are just fucking incredible. I have Lamar Jackson. He's my quarterback 3. I think he is the 3rd best quarterback in the league just because of what he can do as a threat running the ball. He's improved so significantly as a passer as well, man. Oh, I'm so happy Lamar's been awesome. Kind of a mid MVP season. I'm kind of bummed he won MVP last year, to be honest, because that was really, really boring MVP season. But nonetheless, he's got 2 MVPs under his belt. Lamar Jackson's a phenomenal player. Pretty mid-season, but he's a phenomenal player nonetheless. Running backs? Oh, one of my best friends, all right? My boy Jake. We have been campaigning for the last couple of years. I'm not joking. Since 2022, we were just like, dude, imagine Derrick Henry. Because remember at this point, Lamar was having contract issues with the Ravens, and Derrick Henry, something was up with his contract with the Titans. Imagine if Derrick Henry goes to the Ravens. We would fantasize about this. Just like, imagine that RPO type of offense. The running threat of Lamar, who's all shifty and can win in space, and then Derrick Henry, who can win in the trenches. Like, holy shit. That's going to be so fucking fun to watch. And they went and got him, dude. The Ravens have Derrick Henry. That's fucking awesome. That's going to be so fun. The low part of the Ravens' entire team, I think the worst part of their entire team, and it's not even that bad. I just think their team is so highly touted, understandably and deservedly so. Their team is so highly touted. I think that, like, the worst part of their team is their pass catching group. And it's not like it's a bad pass catching group. I just think that it's the worst out of all the facets of the game. Offensive line is better than the pass catching group, but I also don't think their offensive line is that phenomenal. But yeah, I have the offense as a top 10 offense, mainly because the offensive line and the pass catching group. But yeah, defensively though, man, it doesn't matter. They have the 4th best defense in the league. They are going to be incredible. They're going to be 12-5. I have them finishing as the 3 seed though, 12-5. And it leads me to my division, the NFC North. Got to take a big old swig for this one. Now, if you guys can't tell, I'm a diehard Vikings fan. I love the Vikings so much. I think Sam Darnold is 100% the best quarterback in the league. I can't even joke around. That felt gross to say. Last place, I got the Vikings coming at 5-12. Fuck the Vikings. But no, I gotta put credit where credit is due. Justin Jefferson is fucking crazy. Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. And TJ Hawkinson is obviously going to miss some time. I think he's missing the first 4 weeks. Same thing with Jordan Addison, I think. So really, first 4 weeks of the season, Justin Jefferson is going to be a really interesting player to watch because he's going to be that entire offense. But as it stands right now, Sam Darnold is your quarterback, and that sucks. Defensively, you guys have absolutely nobody. I think you guys have one of the worst defenses in the league, and I think even Vikings fans would agree with that. This is not going to be the year for the Vikings. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Sam Darnold lights it up. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't really like KOC that much. Is that his nickname, Kevin O'Connell? I think KOC is a good one. I'm sorry. I don't like him because I'm a Packers fan. I think he's a great coach. I think he's a really good offensive play caller. I don't like him for that reason because I'm a Packers fan. But respect where it is deserved. Vikings are going to have a pretty meh offense, obviously. They have a really good offensive line. The running back room is kind of interesting. Mainly because Aaron Jones always misses time. I love Aaron Jones. Even though he's on the Vikings, I love Aaron Jones, man. We are forever indebted to Aaron Jones. I love him. But, assuming health, he's got to stay healthy. He's got to stay on the field. If he stays on the field, Aaron Jones is going to be a fun player to watch. But yeah, man, Vikings, this is just not your year. And that's okay. That's okay. It's not your year. Next year, you're going to have a healthy J.J. McCarthy. And we'll see where you guys are at that point. But as of right now, players missing time. Sam Darnold is your quarterback. Really bad defense. This year is just not the year for the Vikings. And I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. It's just not the year. Third place, though, we got the Bears. Third place, got the Bears. Got the Bears actually finishing 7-10. Pretty much exactly where they were last year. Now, I, as a Packers fan, hate what the Bears have done this offseason. But Bears fans, you guys should really be stoked. You guys got a really, really good pass-catching group. You guys also went and got DeAndre Swift, which I think that's a really, really good pickup. DeAndre Swift gets a lot of, I shouldn't say disrespect, but he gets overlooked. Obviously, he wasn't that crazy, on the on the Eagles and stuff. He wasn't that crazy, but he's a good player. Which, how did he do last year? I'm kind of curious. Sorry. I'm going to cut this out. Don't worry. But yeah, last year on the Eagles, oh, you know what? He actually did have 1,000 yards. Yeah, he was 1,000-yard rusher. And obviously the touchdowns weren't that crazy because, Jalen Hurts snakes everything at the 1-yard line. All those tush-push touchdowns. But no, I mean, last year he did pretty well on the Eagles. Not his best season, but actually, yeah, it was his best season. It was his best season looking at his stats. But I think the Bears are going to have a really good offense. It's going to be another live by the sword, die by the sword type of thing for Caleb Williams. We'll see how they do. That's all I can really say. They have a good defense. Defensively, I have the Bears as the 12th best defense. Offensively, I have them as the 15th best offense. It's really hard to rank a rookie quarterback. Now, obviously, this rookie quarterback is the best rookie quarterback since blah, 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 blah. Every single fucking number 1 overall pick is the best quarterback since blah, 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 blah. And none of them ever live up to it. Now, maybe I'm reverse jinxing Caleb Williams. He's going to be fucking amazing. But I'm sorry. I'm not. I don't know. We'll see how he does. Especially with that offensive play calling. We'll see how Caleb Williams does. They did everything they could to surround him with talent, though. And I got to give credit where credit is due for Ryan Poles. He made a lot of moves to make Caleb Williams set up for success, which Bears fans, you guys should be very happy about that. Second place, tough for me to say, but it's got to be the Packers, just barely coming in second place. I have them going 12-5. I think Jordan Love is the 7th best quarterback in the NFL, which may seem crazy, but I think that Jordan Love is a really, really fucking good quarterback, and he got paid. He got paid as one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Wide receiver core. So this is what's kind of crazy. I have every single NFC North team in my top 10 pass catching groups. All right, again, that includes tight ends. This is all on paper. Packers, though, I have them as the worst in the NFC North. Now, again, this is like being labeled the worst billionaire. The only reason I say the Packers are ranked that low is because we got one good year out of them so far, which they're really fucking good. They're so young. They're so good. The tight ends are going to be so fun this year as well. And that's nothing to sneeze at. Because again, I have the Bears as the best pass catching group, Vikings second best, Lions third best, Packers fourth best. Now, I might get flack for this from fellow Packer fans, but I mean, come on. They're all young, they're all unproven. I'm so excited for them this year. Like, the thing is, I know it makes Matt LaFleur puke every single time he hears, who's your number one receiver? But that does kind of matter. The cool part about it, though, is that any one of these guys could be the number one. Dontavian Wicks could be the number one. Romeo Doubs could be the number one. Christian Watson could be the number one. You know? Jaden Reed, I don't think he could be the number one because I think he plays his best from like the slot as like I don't know. It's hard to explain my reasoning. But dude, every single one of those like top 5 pass catching guys, including like Tucker Kraft and Musgrave and stuff, that it's a really, really good pass catching group. I just think they need another year to gel a little bit. I have them as the 10th best receiving core, you know? I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible, which is why Packer fans are going to get mad at me. But man, Packers, man. Oh, it's going to be fun. Running back room is going to hurt a little bit with A.J. Dillon, unfortunately, going to be missing the entire season. I'm devastated for A.J. Dillon. I hope his career is not done. I really, really hope that he is able to fully heal from his injuries and next year he comes back swinging, whether it's for the Packers or anybody besides an NFC North team. I really hope A.J. Dillon just lights it up, man. I'm really gutted for him. It sucks. But aside from that, man, Josh Jacobs, that's going to be so fun. Remember, Josh Jacobs has never caught a touchdown. He's never caught a touchdown before. Dude, he's gonna do it week 1. I guarantee you, he's gonna get a screen pass and take it the distance. Like, I'm so excited for Josh Jacobs to be in this offense. Offensive line, I have them as the 7th best offensive line. I still think the Packers' offensive line is really, really good. So all that being said, and then with a new defensive coordinator for the Packers, I have the Packers as the 5th best offense. I have them as the 13th best defense in terms of personnel, which the composite score, this is where my bias is going to show a little bit. I have the Packers as a top 5 team. I think the Packers are a top 5 roster in football. It may not be star-studded like the Vikings with, Justin Jefferson or the Eagles with, A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. It may not be star-studded like that, but dude, the Packers' depth at literally every single position. Every single position is just so deep. If one player got injured, I wouldn't even be like that scared because our depth is just so deep at every single position. Aside from quarterback, Jordan Love needs to stay healthy. But yeah, man, that's my take on the Packers this year. I think they're going to go 12-5. This is what I was talking about earlier with the Niners, their 4th loss that I didn't say. I am actually going to be at the Packers 49ers game. So I have the Packers winning that. For some reason, the Packers play a lot better in the regular season in recent years than obviously they do in the playoffs against the Niners. So I have the Packers beating the Niners on November 24th, 2024. Let's see. Losses, I have them splitting with the Vikings, believe it or not. I have them splitting with the Lions. I have them losing to the Dolphins. And then I have them losing in Seattle. Now, I obviously think that Seattle is a far inferior team than the Packers, but the Packers suck in Seattle, and I think Seattle is a good team still. And then obviously week 1, Matt LaFleur sucks for whatever reason in week 1. I don't know what it is. Obviously, they have won in week 1. They beat the Bears in 2019, and they beat the Vikings in 2020. But aside from that, man, the Matt LaFleur week 1 Packers always struggle. And I think that trend might continue against a really, really good Eagles team. There's no shame in losing to the Eagles. I think that Eagles game is going to be the difference from the Packers potentially starting 7-0 versus the Packers starting 5-2, which 5-2, there's nothing to sneeze at about that. That's still a really good start. But yeah, I think the Packers go 12-5. I think they take the 5 seed. I think they just barely lose that division to the Lions. And again, Lions are a phenomenal team. Again, I have the Lions as the best roster in football. I think the additions that they made this offseason just what they did for their defense. They have a really good offensive line. Really, really good running back room. Fully healthy. The pass catcher group is incredible. I'm keeping Sam Laporta in fantasy as well, man. Sam Laporta, watch out for him. I think this year he could solidify himself as like a top 3 tight end. Sam Laporta he's really fucking good. So yeah, I think the Lions go 13-4. If you guys want to know where I rank everything, Lions second best running back room, 8th best wide receiver group. I have Goff as the 10th best quarterback, but I also think that they have the best offensive line. In my algorithm, I weigh the quarterback and the offensive line as the 2 most important things for an offense, and then right behind them, running back and wide receiver. Wide receiver and running back, respectfully, in terms of weighing. So because of that, offensively, Lions have the best offense. Defensively, again, they did a lot of really good things to bolster up that defense. I think they have a top 10 defense, 7th to be exact, which using the composite score and stuff like that, I think that the Lions are the best team in the NFL, just roster-wise. I think they are the best roster in the NFL. Another year with Ben Johnson, which you Lions fans should be thanking your stars that Ben Johnson is still your guys' offensive coordinator. He is a stud. I was talking to Michael. You guys know Michael Allen on Twitter. I'm saying you guys as if anyone is going to listen to this. Michael Allen. Imagine Zach Taylor, for whatever reason, gets fired from the Bengals this year, which is not going to happen. The Bengals are going to make the playoffs. But Michael had this take where, like, the Bengals take a step back, the Bengals regress, they fire Zach Taylor. Imagine Ben Johnson becoming the Bengals head coach. Imagine that offense, bro. I kind of hope that happens, just so Ben Johnson is out of the NFC North. But yeah, man, the Lions are a really, really good team, going 13-4. I actually have them as the 1 seed in the NFC. I think the Lions are the best team in the NFC. They are, again, they're the best team in the NFL. And the thing is that, like, their strength of schedule, I have their strength of schedule as pretty weak. We can actually look at the strength of schedule based off of my season predictions and stuff. If the season goes how I think it's going to go, sorry, 1 second. Lions have, they have a top 10 easiest schedule in terms of, like, records and stuff. They have the 10th easiest strength of schedule. I think the Lions are just going to go through every single team. I do have them losing, though. They split one with the Packers. They lose against the Texans. They lose against the Colts. And lose against the Niners. I think that's a pretty fair 4 losses. But yeah, that's how I think the NFC North shakes up. Packers and Lions fight for the North, but I think the Lions ultimately win it, which is, honestly, to me, okay. You know? Lions are just a good team. And just gotta put respect where it's due. Lions are better than the Packers. And that's okay, because Packers are still a really fucking good team. I have them as the 5th best team in the NFL. And that leads us to the last 2 divisions, the AFC South. We'll just go through this real quick. Titans and Jags, man. Titans, Tony Pollard is your guys' number 1 receiver. Or your number 1 running back. Hello. Probably your number 1 receiver with Will Levis as the quarterback. You guys are going to be doing dumb offs a lot. I don't think the Titans are a good team. I have them coming 3-14. I think the Jaguars are 4-13. Those 2 teams, man, just disappointing. Especially the Jaguars. Jaguars should be way better. But, dude, 2023, they just sucked. What happened in 2023, man? I really don't get it. Colts 7-10. I got no idea what to make of Anthony Richardson. Sorry, I'm kind of speedrunning through this division because, like, it's obvious who's going to win it. Anthony Richardson, he's got to stay healthy. His play style is so reckless, which is fun to watch, but, dude, he's going to get hurt again. I'm not wishing that, but you always just have that injury risk with Anthony Richardson, and it just makes me nervous for him. I really hope he can stay healthy because he's fun to watch, but even with his health, in the preseason stuff, he just didn't look good. I'm trying to think of how to say that, but, like, he just didn't look that great. And then obviously the Texans are going to win the AFC South at 11-6. I actually have them as the 4 seed. I think they are the worst of the division winners, which is not bad. I had a take last night, and I'm happy people kind of agree. Can we pump the brakes on CJ Stroud real quick? I think CJ Stroud is a great guy. I think CJ Stroud is a really good quarterback. But can we pump the brakes? Everyone is crowning him as like the best quarterback in the NFL. Oh my God, dude, CJ Stroud is fucking incredible. He just had the best rookie season ever. No, he fucking didn't. No, he didn't. Again, I like CJ Stroud, but pump the brakes a little bit. Can we not crown him yet? I'm sorry. CJ Stroud had the best rookie season of all time. Okay, hold up. CJ Stroud, obviously stats aren't everything, and they did make it to the playoffs, and they did win a playoff game. That's great. Bro, he threw 23 touchdowns. He threw 4,000 yards. That's great. He threw 23 touchdowns. Can we, let's look at, in my opinion, I think Justin Herbert had the best rookie season. Justin Herbert, rookie stats. Justin Herbert, rookie stats, 4,300 passing yards, 31 total touchdowns. Obviously, they didn't make the playoffs, and they didn't win a playoff game because, Anthony Lynn was their fucking head coach. But man, can we pump the brakes on CJ Stroud a little bit? He's a fun quarterback to watch, but let's not crown him so fast, dude. People are acting like he is the best quarterback in the entire NFL, which obviously that's hyperbole. Everyone knows it's Mahomes, but I think he's good. I think he's really good. I don't think he's that great. We haven't seen anything yet. I don't know. That's my take on CJ Stroud. I love CJ Stroud. Great guy. I was dead wrong about him coming out of college. Because he was Ohio State, I thought he was going to be a very busty bust, but proved me wrong. He proved me wrong. First time I've ever been wrong. But let's pump the brakes on CJ Stroud just a little bit, please. Please. Still have them winning the division nonetheless. 4 seed though, 11-6. And that brings us to the last division, the worst division in football, in my humble opinion. The NFC South. Panthers. Let's see. Let's see where I rank the Panthers with everything. Panthers, 26th best running back room. Panthers, 24th best pass catching group. Panthers, the worst quarterback in the league. I don't think Bryce Young is good at all. I struggled to think about anything Bryce Young does well. Obviously, he was set up to fail last year. He was set up to fail. How was anybody supposed to perform in that offense? Regardless, he didn't. And he just didn't look good. I do have their offensive line slightly better than where they were last year, but still very bad. I think that the offense is the 30th best offense and the 30th best defense. I have them still as the worst roster in football. Very, very bad team. I don't think that the Panthers are good. Saints are a weird team because I really like the Saints. I feel like they can be good, but when you look at their schedule game by game, they're going to lose a lot of games. I have them going 5-12. Derek Carr, we know who Derek Carr is. They don't have Michael Thomas anymore. Alvin Kamara is getting up there in age. He's missed time the last couple of years. Their offensive line is terrible. I mean, golly, I have their offensive line as the 30th offensive line. Derek Carr, we know who Derek Carr is at this point. He's been in the league for a decade. We know who Derek Carr is at this point. And who I think Derek Carr is mid, serviceable. They should have kept Jameis Winston. They should have made Jameis Winston the starter, but they kept Derek Carr instead because he's safer with the football. That's going to cost them. They're going to be a pretty boring, conservative team, 5-12. Dennis Allen is probably not going to be their head coach next year. Third place, Buccaneers, 8-9. It's an interesting team because I really like the Buccaneers. I think they can be a fun team, but Baker Mayfield with expectations is different than Baker Mayfield with no expectations. I do think that they have a really good pass catching group still, and I do think Baker Mayfield, he is as mid can be in my quarterback rankings. I think he is the 16th quarterback in the NFL. Wide receiver core is good. Offensive line is also very mid, 19th best offensive line. And then defensively, they got a really bad defense. Really bad defense. That's going to lose them a lot of games because they can't really they don't have the type of offense where they can win just with their offense. They're not going to put up 40 points per game. Their defense might give up that many points though. So I have them just as a mid team, going 8-9, missing the playoffs, unfortunately, barely missing the playoffs as an 8 seed. And then obviously the team that wins the South, the Falcons. I think the Falcons go 12-5. What else can you say about the Falcons that hasn't been said, man? They had a really good offseason getting Matthew Judon, Justin Simmons. I think that's really good additions for them. Offensively, again, this is anticipating full health. Bijan Robinson is going to be a lot of fun. Losing Cordell Patterson, I'm actually kind of bummed that he's on the Steelers now because he could have been fun on the Falcons offense. Falcons pass catching group. This is where it gets kind of funny. Kyle Pitts, again, highest drafted tight end ever. I think that this is the year that he finally breaks out. I have never had Kyle Pitts in fantasy. So I drafted Kyle Pitts in one of my leagues this year, and people are like, really, you got Kyle Pitts? And I'm just like, I haven't been hurt by him yet. People always draft Kyle Pitts, and they regret it instantly because he doesn't get the ball. He doesn't ever get the ball because, we have fucking Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke as their quarterback. Like, he's not going to get the ball. New offensive coordinator, new quarterback. Kyle Pitts is going to be fun to watch. Same with Drake London. Watch out for those two. Kirk Cousins, same thing I said earlier with Rodgers. He just needs to play mid. He just needs to be a mid quarterback, and I think Kirk Cousins can be just a mid quarterback. I think he's not going to come back fully from the Achilles. Like, he's not going to be where he was in 2023 before he tore his Achilles, but that's okay, man. Mid Kirk Cousins is still an upper half quarterback in the league. And, I'm being conservative with my rankings, putting him as the 13th best quarterback. He could easily be a top 10 quarterback. Kirk Cousins is going to be fun. That offense is going to be fun. That offensive line is the third best offensive line in the league, in my opinion. I have them as the 6th best offense. Pretty mid defense. Puts them as the 13th best team in the NFL. Have them as the 4 seed. 4 seed going 12-5. Let's jump right into the wild card round. The wild card round is going to be fun. I'm going to go ahead and read off the 1 through 7 teams for the AFC and the NFC. In the AFC, the number 1, here we go, division winners. Chiefs at 13-4, Jets at 13-4, Ravens at 12-5, Texans at 11-6. Wild card teams, we got the Bengals at 12-5, Bills at 11-6, and Browns at 11-6. Going over to the NFC. The NFC seeding. Here we go. I got the Lions at 13-4, 49ers at 13-4, the Eagles at 13-4, the Falcons at 12-5, the Packers at 12-5, the Rams at 11-6, and the Cowboys at 10-7. Those are the 7 playoff teams coming out of the NFC. Again, the division winners, the Lions, the Niners, the Eagles, and the Falcons. Wild card teams, Packers, Rams, Cowboys, which honestly, I think that's pretty fair. Pretty expected, to be honest. So let's go ahead and jump into the wild card round of the playoffs. The 5 seed Bengals visiting the 4 seed Texans. Playoff Joe Burrow. Again, this is assuming health. I trust the Bengals in the playoffs a lot more than I trust the Texans. Now, obviously, the Texans did win a playoff game last year, and then they got their shit kicked in by the Chiefs. I shouldn't say shit kicked in. That's strong language. But I mean, I don't know. I kind of trust Joe Burrow in the playoffs. I hate doing that. I hate saying, oh, this quarterback is way better in the playoffs. But it's just, I think it's true for like 3 quarterbacks in the NFL in terms of playoff success, not playoff failures. Playoff success, I trust Joe Burrow a lot more than I trust CJ Stroud right now. I think that the 5 seed Bengals beat the 4 seed Texans. This is the other quarterback, Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen in the playoffs is a lot better than Lamar Jackson has been in the playoffs. I do think that the Ravens have the better team, better defense, but I still think Josh Allen, hell, I don't know. It's strictly a vibe pick, but I think that the Bills beat the Ravens. The 6-seeded Bills beat the 3-seeded Ravens. Great analysis on my part, I know. Finally, the 7-seed Browns visit the 2-seed Jets. Come on. That offense for the Browns is going to be so bad against that defense for the Jets. Aaron Rodgers, his first playoff game. The Jets' first playoff appearance since, 2012? The Jets are going to win that playoff game at MetLife. Come on. Give me the Jets. This one, I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. So here we go. Packers visiting the Falcons. Last year, week 2, the Packers lost to the Falcons barely. That was also with the Falcons starting Desmond Ridder. But that was also Jordan Love's second game as a starter. My voice cracked. I think the Packers are a lot better this year than they were last year. I think the Falcons are a lot better this year than they were last year. That being said, though, I still like the Packers. I think the Packers have just a lot more fluid of an offense, and I think that they do have a better defense. Defense wins championships. But I think the Packers beat the Falcons. Crazy. Now we got the 6-seeded Rams going to the 3-seeded Eagles. This one should be obvious. The Rams defense is going to be really stinky. Rams offense, I think, can compete with the Eagles defense, but I just think the Eagles offense are really good. The Eagles defense is really good, and it's at home with the crazy Philly fans. Give me the Eagles winning that game pretty handily. Come on now. Now, we got the Cowboys going up against the Niners. That one's a given. Give me the 2-seeded Niners beating the 7-seeded Cowboys. That's 100% going to happen. Come on now. Going into the divisional round, we got the Bengals visiting the Jets. Now, I got to take the Jets here again. Pretty much the exact reason why I think the Jets beat the Browns is the same reason I think the Jets beat the Bengals. I just think the Jets are the way better team at home. Come on. Then we got the 6-seeded Bills going to the 1st-seeded Chiefs. We all know how this one ends. Patrick Mahomes does not lose to the Bills or really anybody in the Super Bowl. What am I talking about? In the playoffs. Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Chiefs, Bills. Chiefs always beat the Bills. Don't even kid around with yourself. I think these 2 games are going to be the best games of the divisional round. We got the 3-seeded Eagles going to the 2-seeded Niners. This one's actually really tough. My heart says the Eagles just because I hate the Niners so much. And I'd have to agree with that. I think I'd have to agree with that, to be honest with you. Obviously, in 2022, in those playoffs, Brock Purdy missed that entire game. They had, Christian McCaffrey in at quarterback or something like that. I still think the Eagles are just, I shouldn't say better, but I like the Eagles' defense going up against the Niners. I think that the Eagles' defense can stop the Niners' offense. I don't know how well the Niners' defense stops the Eagles' offense, if that makes sense. Eagles' offense better than the Niners' defense. Eagles' defense better than the Niners' offense. I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know if you guys would agree with that, but I think the Eagles win. This is a really tough one. The 5-seeded Packers going to the 1-seeded Lions. Now, last year, on Thanksgiving, we saw the Packers march right into Ford Field and kick the shit out of the Lions. I do think that can happen. I do. I could see this game going either way, and that's what's so tough about it is, as a Packers fan, I know that we are totally capable of beating the Lions. But it's also like the Lions in the playoffs last year, man, they were special. They were a lot of fun to watch. I do think that they have a lot more firepower as well than the Packers do. So I don't want to say that the Niners or the Lions beat the Packers. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. I can justify the Packers beating the Lions. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen, to be honest with you. If the Packers are 12-5 and the Lions are 13-4, I got to say, Lions at home, give me the Lions. That hurts really bad to say. Because I could totally see the Packers winning that game. Like, I think it's like a 51% of the time Lions win that, 49% of the time Packers win that. Like, I think that's going to be the game of the week, in my opinion. That's going to be a really, really good divisional round game. Pains me to say, but I think the Lions in the divisional round, trying to be as unbiased as possible, I think the Lions would win that. That sucks. I'm going to get a lot of hate from my Packer friends. That really sucks, and I'm sorry. AFC Championship, the first time ever that we are going to see Mahomes versus Rodgers. Which one misses this game this time? Kind of sucks. But we have not seen Mahomes versus Rodgers. We have had an opportunity almost every single year since 2019 to see this game, and it's never happened. First time happening, though, AFC Championship. Shit. This is tough, man. My heart wants to say Aaron Rodgers. Okay, here we go. Stay with me here, guys. Stay with me. Last year, I forgot what week it was, but we almost saw the Zach Wilson Jets beat the Chiefs. Now, obviously, that's regular season. It's different. I'm trying to justify how Aaron Rodgers and the Jets can beat the Chiefs. I think that the Jets defense is way better than the Chiefs defense, but I do think the Chiefs offense is way better than the Jet. The Chiefs offense is better than the Jets offense. This is tough. This is tough. Fuck. Let's have some fun. I think the Jets beat the Chiefs. NFC Championship. Lions, Eagles. Fuck me. I think the Eagles could win this one. I'm just going to go with that, just so my Packer friends don't hate me. Eagles win that one, obviously. Super Bowl. Eagles versus the Jets. Gang green. The green Super Bowl. Oh, no. Who am I kidding? I'm going back to the divisional round. I do think that the Packers beat the Lions, and I do think that the Packers beat the Eagles, and the Jets obviously beat the Chiefs. Easy peasy. Packers beat the Jets in the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers finally gets to his second Super Bowl, and he loses to his old team in New Orleans. Packers beat the Jets in the Super Bowl. Easy fucking peasy. Packers win the Super Bowl. Now let's go ahead and go over the season awards. MVP. Dude, I've already been recording for an hour and 12 minutes. I probably should have announced all this stuff before the Super Bowl. I'm hyped. Okay, here we go. I have my reasoning for this. I've already predicted the entire season, and I saw how the Associated Press votes for players every single year. Every single year, for like the last however many years, like 7+ years, the 1 seed is always the MVP. It just depends who has been the more impressive 1 seed, AFC or NFC. This year, I think the 1-seeded Chiefs, Mahomes is better than the 1-seeded Jared Goff. My logic is flawless here. Now listen up. Mahomes wins MVP. Okay? Defensive Player of the Year, on average, it is the 4.1 seed. Give me the Texans having the Defensive Player of the Year. Will Anderson wins Defensive Player of the Year. Offense, on average, is 2.6 seed. Jets are the 2 seed. Give me Breece Hall. Again, my logic is flawless, but I can actually kind of back it up, all right? I can actually kind of back it up. I think Mahomes, strength of schedule, I went ahead when I was ranking my fantasy players this year. I think the Chiefs, I'm not even joking about this, the Chiefs have the easiest wide receiver strength of schedule, because again, I was doing my fantasy rankings, deciding who to draft. Chiefs have the easiest. They have the easiest strength of schedule for running backs and receivers, which means I think that Mahomes is going to cook. Them also being the 1 seed helps out a ton. So I really do think that the Chiefs are the 1 seed and Mahomes is going to win MVP. Defensive Player of the Year, the only reason I say this one is because the algorithm thing. Will Anderson is probably not going to win Defensive Player of the Year, but I have to stick to my numbers. I have to stick to the numbers. Will Anderson wins Defensive Player of the Year. The second-year starter kicks ass. Breece Hall. This was the fun one. I actually do believe this. Not even the numbers backing up. I do believe this. I think that with a healthy Aaron Rodgers as like a passing threat is going to open up the door so much for Breece Hall to run the ball, and also a bolstered offensive line for the Jets. I really do think Breece Hall is going to be the player of that offense. I think Breece Hall is going to be the MVP of the Jets offense. I'm going to give him Offensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I hate to say it. I really hate to say it, but it's going to be Caleb Williams. The Bears did way too much to set him up for success. I really, really want to say Jaden Daniels or Marvin Harrison. I think those would be a lot more fun than Caleb Williams. But I mean, I think the results are going to speak for themselves. I think Caleb Williams is going to throw like 3,500 yards, not 4,000. Probably somewhere like 25 touchdowns. And I don't know. He just has a really good group around him. I think that Caleb Williams wins Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Rookie of the Year. This one, it's kind of weird for me, but Jared Verse. I mean, really good edge rusher. And I don't really have a ton of analysis on this because I don't watch college. I'm just kind of going with vibes. It's a sick name. It's a really sick name, and that's got to be the Defensive Rookie of the Year, you know? Jared Verse. Read your Bible. But yeah, guys, this has been an hour and 15 minutes. I'm so sorry about that. I was rambling on a ton. This is going to be really cringe to listen to. But, you know, if you made it this far, I really appreciate you listening. Yeah, guys, I'm so excited for the football season coming up. These are my predictions. Again, real quick, Packers beat the Jets in the Super Bowl. Easy peasy. MVP is going to be Patrick Mahomes. And let's just go ahead one more time. The division winners and the wild cards. I got the Chiefs, Jets, Ravens, and Texans. Then I got the Bengals, Bills, and Browns. Those are the 7 playoff teams in the AFC. In the NFC, we got the Lions, Niners, Eagles, and the Falcons as the division winners. And the Packers, Rams, Cowboys as the wild card teams. Yeah, guys, this is going to be a fun football season. Can't wait to see how wrong I am. Yeah, I would appreciate any constructive criticism down in the comments if you guys even made it this far. I appreciate you guys listening. And yeah, football's back, baby. I'll see you guys soon.